Hi, CMattDye here, and been getting a lot of questions on the crypto market, what my thoughts are, and I usually do these videos, but I haven't been able to do one lately. So I wanted to jump in and talk about the crypto markets and what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing as far as where markets are going. You've seen out there some people were massively bullish, some people were kind of bearish, some people were super bearish. So what should we be looking for? That's the topic of today's video. Not what my thoughts are, because, my thoughts are my thoughts, but what is the most likely scenario of what's going to play out. So if we look at this right now, we see 1.12 trillion market cap. This is the crypto total market cap. I started doing videos like this, starting off with the total market cap, because with that, we kind of know where things are going. And if we look at this little bit right here, I have to jump down. This is actually an hourly chart. So let me try to zoom in here on that. So you can see it's going pretty sideways here. And all of this is looking pretty okay. Let's go to the daily. And we zoom out on this. And this is kind of what I'm seeing right now. Is this move up? We're seeing a similar pattern in a lot of things. So, we see this pattern. We're seeing a similar pattern to Bitcoin. And there are people out there that say this is super bullish and this is taking us to a new high. I think the likelihood of that happening is probably about as good as you walking a mile down the street backwards, moonwalking, and getting struck by lightning 12 times. That's my thought, but I think that's the probability. It's super rare. Like if this turns into something and goes to new highs, super rare. It could happen, but like I said, it is what it is. So really trading, analyzing charts, you're stacking probabilities on top of each other. And that's what this is we're trying to stack probabilities on top of each other. Now this is the daily chart. So now with this in mind, let's go into the rest of the crypto market. So if arrow keys aren't working. So let's go to Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin. And this is the same chart that I had in the last video that I did, however long ago it was. It is what it is. I try to get them out timely, but, at least it's Tuesday, technical Tuesday. So that's one thing going for me. So this is what I'm looking for right now. This is a process called Elliott Wave that I use. If you go out there and you're trying to learn trading, everybody does it differently, and some people do it wrong. Now, I'm not going to name names. That's not what I do. I just do me. Other people can do them. But if you learn from several people and a couple of them are doing what you're trying to learn wrong, then you're going to learn bad habits. Even if they're wrong is a strong word. Even if they're doing it not as correct as they should, you're going to learn bad habits. So that's one thing I try to steer people away from. But anyway, this is what I'm looking for. This would mark the end of this move and eventually a move higher. This blue line would be invalidation of what is on the chart right now. So if it breaks this blue line at 13,880, something else is playing out. So basically what that would be is this would be over here. So this will be a 4 and a 5. That's just not what I'm thinking right now in my head. But that's basically what it would play out. And market would come down, come up, and then come down again. And most likely that is actually what's happening. So let's drop down to the hourly chart, because that's the only way we're going to get any clarification whatsoever on this pattern that we're seeing. And the only way I can see this, it won't let me move this box, I guess. Okay, there we go. The only way I can see this changing would be maybe a box up here. And because, this move, this would be the end of this move. So, A into a B, and then this is your very messed up, which would actually be a Y wave. So it would be a W, X, and a Y. I just said, a lot of people do it wrong, and what am I doing? Let's see. I want to click on this. So I got my W, my X, and then my Y will be up here. So that's basically how you do that. So in Elliott Wave, you have two types of moves. You have a impulsive move, which is a strong move, a trending move, and then you have a corrective move, which is a choppy move, kind of like this pattern right here. It's a corrective move. So this would be an A, a B, and a C in an X wave. But in this move here, the only way it can be looked at is either this is an A, it's going to come down here in a B, and then it's going to come up into a C, which would actually make a Y wave. Or, this is your A, this is your B, and then this is kind of some gobbledygook that's going to end up going up a little bit more. Now, you can get very, very granular on this and look at this pattern and say, okay, well, this can turn into an impulse to the downside. If you want to get very, very granular, you can. But usually the very, very small time frames are good for day trades. They're not really good for forecasting year-long moves or 3-month-long moves. Like if this is going to a low, it's going to take a little while. It's going to be probably October, November before it gets down there. If it's going to go up, it's going to go up probably in the next few weeks. It's going to come down first, and then it's going to come up. So you want to really watch 20,602 to 21,000. You want to watch that area. And then you want to keep a very, very close eye on this low right here, which around 18,930. You want to keep a very close eye on that. Why? Because if the market comes down, it's going to invalidate this WXY that I'm showing on the chart. Once it invalidates that, then it can come much lower. Let's go back to the daily chart because the daily chart is more fun. So if it doesn't validate that, we have a couple different patterns that can be playing out here. Let me get rid of these lines. So if we have a couple patterns that can be playing out, technically this could reject somewhere below 31,000, and this could start moving lower, and it could start something else. Most likely what I'm thinking, and we'll jump back to the hourly chart because I'm a crazy person. Most likely what I'm thinking this is going to do is, you had your move up and move down, and now we're moving sideways to higher again, is you're going to have price come down here, and then it can move up one more time. And then we can get that move up, and it's going to invalidate a lot of the wrong counts that people have out there. And then they're going to start looking at things, well, what's going on, what's going on? And then you're going to get a lot of people starting to talk fundamentals rather than technicals. And that's usually how the pattern works. People try to make something into their charts that's not there. I know you've probably heard a lot of people talk about, well, this is a 1-2, and this is a 1-2, and this is a third wave. Like, are you kidding me? Nowhere on earth would this be a third wave. It's just not. 100% not. And a lot of analysis is probabilities. 80% probability, 20% probability. This is 100% not a wave 3. It's just not. So this is the best analysis that I have at the moment. Now, there is possible that this could be a top here. It's also possible it can come up. It's also possible it can support here, move up again. And then the least probable would probably be it just dropping from here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on that. Now I want to go to Ethereum, because Ethereum is very interesting. And I put out a chart. Over here I talked about getting long. So that's one thing I talked about. This was over here on July 13th. I talked about it on right about here, I think. And it came down and supported, and then it came down again and supported again. This would have been the best entry, and this is where I was at over here with my entry. And I'm looking at this as a target. This box right here, that is my target right now. This move up, pretty good, pretty good. Let's see. I think we should get one more move up at least, and then once it moves up, it needs to make a new high over this high here. Whatever it is, I don't care. It needs to make a new high. After that, if it actually does come over this blue line, awesome. This is 2169.64, 2169 half you can call it. That's fine if you want to round down. But that's what I'm looking for. One more move up, that would be great. So that's really what I'm looking for here. And if that were to occur, then and only then can we look at something different happening. Now this move here, you can look at it a couple different ways actually, but this move here is looking okay. It can be seen a couple different ways. Corrective, maybe, possibly an ugly impulse, but you know what, I kind of have to wait and see with that. Same as Bitcoin though, ABC, and then it started to run higher. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. Is this going to make a new high? Is it going to break below this red line? Because that's going to be important. This red line here, which is at 1832. We'll call it 1832. So if it breaks below that, that would be kind of interesting. I usually don't drop down in my analysis charts, but let me look at a 5-minute. Just I'm a little bit interested. If the current move can get above 1908, 1910, and then start moving, and then we see ourselves at 1940 fairly soon afterwards, maybe this is the start of something to a new high. But right now it's not looking like it. It's a little bit ugly. So we'll really kind of have to wait and see with that and see what actually does play out. Now I want to go to Cardano next. Cardano is kind of ugly. Let me go to a daily first, because that's usually what I do. Is usually we look at the daily first, and then we can drop down and see what's going on. So Cardano, I'm looking at this as being a completed impulsive move to the upside, and now it's coming down to find that bottom, and then it's going to start taking off again. And yeah, you can't see anything right here on the daily chart. So let's drop down to the hour, and it's still kind of hard to see stuff. I like to draw levels all over the chart, and it kind of gives me areas to look for. What are we looking for? What are we wanting? I talked about getting long over here. Talked about it over here as well because I have a line, and I talked about a target up here a little while ago. Right now I'm doing it in a friend's Discord, and I'm going to drop my own Discord shortly, and I'm going to have these videos, my other YouTube videos, and I think I'm going to make different channels for each crypto. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Matic, or Polygon, BNB, and I guess I'll do Solana and XRP if I get enough people who like it. Enough people here on the channel like it, so that's why I added them. This analysis I do for myself on some cryptos. Other cryptos I just add for other people, like Solana, XRP. I don't trade either one of those. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing in Cardano right now. We hit this. It's coming down, but it's coming down correctively. And I'm thinking this down here could provide some support, like around 50 cents, possibly a little bit lower, maybe 47 to 50 cents could provide some support. That would allow Bitcoin to come down a little bit. Ethereum, the pattern would have to change a little bit, which I think is okay. Let me go back there real quick over the hourly. So let's see. I think this is an okay move. So if it were to come down a little bit, let me drop down here a little bit more, get rid of that. Let's see, if it were to come down maybe into this region here, that would coincide with Bitcoin and Cardano. I could see that happening. That would be okay. I'd be okay with a move like that. So now let's go to Polygon and see what's happening in Polygon. So last time we looked at Polygon, so on the daily chart, I'm seeing the same pattern as Cardano. So a completed impulsive up, and we're looking for a bottom somewhere down here. So let's go back to the hourly chart. And yeah, this charting software is a little bit of a pain having to scroll up and down, but it's very intuitive. I like it. I actually like it. I don't trade off it. That's why I have the free version. I don't really care. I don't use it for trading. I use it for charting. So I was looking at this move as being a corrective move up, followed by a corrective move down, and then I was looking at this pattern overall. I had an ABC here last time that I had a video. I had an ABC, and then I had 1, 2, 3. I had a 4 and a 5 already drawn, but this movement here hadn't done yet. So I guess my last video was around the end of July. That's interesting. But anyway, it came down and supported right off that level, which was very interesting. Had that push up, which this could be actually a completed 5-wave up. So this could be an A, a B, and then this could be our C right here. But now what is this? What is this over here? It is definitely corrective action. This whole move is corrective action. So whenever it comes back down, I expect support. That's what I'm looking for when it comes back down. Just because this move here is corrective, so this move here should also be corrective. That's what I'm thinking, because this move up is corrective. So that's what I'm thinking. If it comes down, I would expect it to find some support, which would coincide with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. The cryptos are all correlated a little bit. Ethereum and Bitcoin are very heavily correlated. Cardano is correlated to an extent. Polygon also correlated to an extent. So usually Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are closely correlated, and that's just because of the way big money is trying to get into Bitcoin. They're treating them the same. So if you're risk off in the S&P, you're going to be risk off in the Bitcoin and all the other cryptos as well. So that's basically what I'm seeing with that. So move down. It's hard to call a support level right now, but if it were to support anywhere in here, that would be highly interesting. So above this low, I'm going to say above 73 cents, anywhere from 73 to 79 cents. If it's supported somewhere in there, possibly in the 80s, that would be very interesting to me. I'm not going to call a level on this just because it's kind of difficult to me. It's a little cloudy with this movement right here, but it looks to me like it can definitely support and move up again. So that'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. Sorry, I couldn't be a little more concise. So Solana, let me zoom out on this. So Solana is, last I looked at Solana, the many last times that I showed it, I talked about how this was crucial that we found support right in this lower 20 area, like 25, 22 area. It was very, very important that we found support here, and support actually was found. So now let's go to the hourly chart and see what's happening with it, because it's definitely a little choppy. So let's see, basically a similar pattern as Bitcoin, very similar. So you had a ABC up, you have, and that's the only way to count this. There is no other way to count this. Then you have an ABC, and now you have. You could call this an ABC here, but then what would this turn into? So maybe this turns into like a larger like triangle or something like that. So if it does come down, look for it to support somewhere in here, probably between 32 and 35, maybe somewhere in there. But worst case scenario, look for it to hold 26. Look for it to hold above 26, worst case scenario. But I'm thinking 32, 35 looks like a pretty decent support area. But this is hideous. Like, this is one of the ugliest charts I've looked at today. So there's no way I would be trading Solana right now. There's much better vehicles to trade. But just looking for analysis right now, this is definitely moving sideways. But I do like let's go back out to the daily chart real quick. Wrong way. All right, so we had a move down, up, down, and now we're looking at this move coming off the lows. Is it going to be more corrective? Yes, it is more corrective. Okay, well, what are we looking for now? I think 76 is a very strong resistance, and I don't think price gets to 76. So I would say 50 to 65 decent resistance right now. If price comes down and then comes back up, that would look really nice as far as a nice corrective pattern, and then it can come back down again. I think that we might have another year left in the bear market. Just the way these patterns are coming off the lows, it just looks like it needs more time. We're getting that corrective bounce, and I would like to see it come into the 80s if it was going to do that. I would like to see it come up and then come down again, and that would look really nice. And then whenever it came back down, that's the time you want to find your long and just hold on for 4 years or whatever. So that's what I'm seeing with Solana. Now let's go to Binance Coin. Binance Coin I really like it. It's one of my favorites. And it looks kind of interesting here. So same kind of scenario as Bitcoin. You know, you have your looking for a fourth wave finish down here into a fifth. And this 3970 would invalidate that. So if this went below 3970, and Bitcoin is much closer to invalidation than Binance Coin as far as how far the price chart can move and how far the price chart usually does move. So as far as that percentage, yes, Bitcoin is closer to invalidation. As far as numbers, Binance is closer to invalidation because Bitcoin's trading above 23,000. So you do have, it's closer as a percentage wise. But I want to look at this move up here. So let me go to this hourly chart and zoom out here. And this chart is actually looking very good, I would have to say. So you can look at this as an impulsive, just like Ethereum. You can kind of take it either way. And then you started getting this move up, which is very, very interesting. And I would like to see one more move up, at least in this pattern. So it holds above 310, gets one more move up, and that's the same way I'm looking at Ethereum. So this one's trading similar to Ethereum. If it does get that one more move up, and then we have that pullback, that would be kind of interesting. So you get, Cardano, Bitcoin, Solana, Matic all going sideways while Ethereum and Binance move higher, and then we get that larger pullback. That would be kind of interesting. But right now, Binance is actually looking pretty good. You're getting a nice move up. but none of it is super strong. None of it is really super strong. I don't know why this is here. I don't even need that. But none of it is super strong, and that's why I was saying if it holds above 310, 310.50, and pushes up one more high, that would be kind of interesting. And then when it pulled back, we'll see what it can do. But right now, Binance and Ethereum are definitely the two strongest that we've looked at so far. So now let's go to XRP. See what's going on with XRP. XRP is in a very long-term sideways move. And when I say that, I mean very long-term sideways move. The top of the sideways move was hit January the 1st of 2018. So from 2018, it just has gone super sideways, and it's very ugly, and it's something that I don't really want to trade, and I haven't traded. I've traded XRP twice in my life, and I did make money both times, thankfully. Not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just trying to say I've only traded it twice. It's been around since 2018, and I've been around much longer than 2018. As far as this move up, I guess you could say 2017 it started to move up into 2018, and then it kind of dropped. Now it's up, now it's down. So what I was talking about with the XRP chart, a couple different things can happen. So what I was wanting to see, ideally, is it finds a high somewhere, and then it comes down one more time. So you kind of have like you have an ABC pattern right now, but it doesn't look complete. So it kind of needs one more move down to complete it. I don't know if that's going to happen, or if it's going to come up a little bit and then come down again and just have a complex move lower, then find that low. Ideally, it would be probably around 17.22 cents, something like that. And then it can start that move higher. Now, I don't know what's going to cause that. I don't predict fundamentals. I don't talk fundamentals because you can't make money on fundamentals. The technicals are going to set up the trade, and then eventually the fundamentals will either confirm or deny that trade. But the technicals always set it up. Like if you guys trade Forex, the trends don't change that often because countries don't change very fast. So if you find a trend, a lot of times it stays there for a long time. And when they start, the fundamentals don't align with the technicals. Then they do align, and then they don't align again, and the trend's over. But a lot of times they don't align, then they do align, then they don't align, then they do align, don't align, and then they do align, and then they don't. And that's when the trend changes after that, because the technicals change. So that's why I'm not a fundamental trader. But they do help sometimes. So I'm not trying to knock them, just giving you my thoughts. So hopefully that means something. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking. If this does come up, 53 to 45 cents is your resistance. If it gets above 53 cents, then it's something more complex is happening. So that's the way I'm going to look at this. I can look at an hourly chart just for the S's and G's. Let's see here. XRP. This move up is definitely ugly and choppy, and you could use the word hideous. Yeah, it's downright ugly. But this move can definitely come up a little more. That actually would be good if it did. Then come down, find some support, and then move up again. That would align with the other cryptos. That would align with my current view at the moment. But right now, there's really nothing we can really talk about. You're going to have a lot of resistance between 40.9 cents and 43.3 cents. You're going to have a lot of resistance in that point there. If it gets above that, then it can run up here. And that would run right into that resistance point that I talked about, that zone. and then it would be able to maybe move down and maybe back up into the zone, something like that. But this is just an ugly chart. It's not a chart I would want to trade. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts on it the best that I can. So anyway, that's XRP. That is the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you think something different, you can always put it in the comment section below. If you want me to cover a crypto that I just haven't covered yet, put it in the comment section below. We can talk about it. I always do enjoy learning. Sometimes I might not seem as enthusiastic as I should be, but that's just me. I trade for a living, so my emotions usually are pretty even keel. So I'm sometimes I'm very enthusiastic and you just don't realize it. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you. If you liked it, throw a like on the video. If not, throw a dislike. Either way, I appreciate the feedback, so thank you for that. With that, thanks for watching. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.